Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
I'm going to tell you, sister, I always love the way that the universe works. And what we're going to talk about today is I was just about to listen to something as I'm driving here in the car to drop off my kids at school, and this came through to me instead. Something that somebody said to me recently, but yet it was a reminder hearing what she said, but yet it's something that I know. And so let's just talk about what that is. So it's not about finding who you are. You know, people will think that, oh, I'm going to, I have this midlife crisis, or I'm having this spiritual awakening. Like, who am I? And I absolutely went through that, still kind of going through it in a different way, last year, almost a year ago, right on the day of my 49th birthday. And it was a big, like, who the fuck am I? Like, what the hell? Like, feeling like everything you knew to be true just didn't feel like it fit anymore. Getting the rug pulled out from under you. And this feeling of, I gotta figure out who I am. But the thing is it's not about trying to find out who you are. It is about remembering who you are. See, we come into this world as children. I'm going to use the word complete. That's what's feeling right now. Complete. Knowing who we are. If you're a mom, or maybe you're an auntie, you've got friends that have children, and you see them, right? And they're so kind of like, I look at my two boys, 5.5 and almost 8.5, and it's like, man, there's a lot of pieces of them that are very still in that state where they're very certain of who they are. I like this, I don't like that. This is who I am. Mommy, I don't want this, I want that. This is what they talk about. Like, it's very matter of fact, right? And I believe that this is how we come into the world. And then what happens is we have these experiences, we have trauma, we have childhood wounds. Maybe our mother wasn't really able to be available for us. Maybe our father wasn't around. Maybe we had something traumatic happen to us. Maybe we grew up in a home that was, we'll use the word dysfunctional. I mean, I grew up in a family where everything looked great on the outside. It's like good on paper. But that's not really how it went down. And it impacts us, and it changes us. And then we are adults, and now it's our job to heal those wounds and go back to remembering who we are. Because it's not about figuring out who you are, it's remembering. It's this pull that I felt that I had someone point out to me. Well, this pull that you've had to spirituality, Karen, that's the feminine. That is the feminine energy. That is your divine feminine essence that I never really felt fully connected with. And here I am turning 50 in like about a month and a half. It's like, wow, isn't that crazy? I would judge it and go like, how can I not feel feminine or like feel like I'm a woman. I know I'm a woman. I have breasts. I have a vagina. Like, I know I'm a woman, right? Like, I'm a woman. It's clear. But yet kind of going, well, what is that? What does that feel like? Because I don't know. I felt very, very, masculine energy. And this is just, this is not a gender conversation. I don't feel like I'm a man at all. Like, it's, no. It's not that. It's just this, like, kind of feeling like I had to almost hide a lot of that feminine energy, squash it. And then I came out as tough because, I learned at an early age that women were not there for me. My mom did her absolute best, but she was not an available mother. If you've ever had a mom that's gone through postpartum, there's been a break in your bond with you and your mom. And if you've gone through that with your children, now this is not to say that, oh my God, you've screwed up your kids or it's your mom's fault. No, it's none of those things. Listen, we all do the best with what we know to be true at the time. We can only do what we know. We can only be who we are. We can only do what we know. That's it. So it's not about blame. It's not about you feeling badly about things that maybe you've done if you're a mother. We're all doing our absolute best. We got to be a lot softer and gentler, which is that feminine energy, by the way, too. But it is about remembering who you are. And, you know, my good friend Jill, who, we've also done some coaching work together where she's worked with me on my business. She's brilliant. Love her, adore her. A soul sister. And, I remember having this conversation with her last year when we were still doing some coaching work together. And there's been some different phrases that were kind of coming to me. About a year ago, I launched Some Women Wanting More clothing for a period of time. And a lot of you bought some stuff, and then I was just like, this is just, I was like trying all these different things to like, what do you need for me to reach you? What do you need to connect with, right? Some of you, it's like, I can't do the coaching program, or I don't have the money and stuff, but I know you would buy clothing. And I was like, and it wasn't about money at all, because there's very little money made on that, like almost nothing. But the point of it was kind of like, well, if this is something that women will wear this and will embody it, then maybe that's a place, right? And so I had probably 6 to 8 different phrases that I had on t-shirts and hoodies and beanies and mugs. And one of them was this, which is remember who you are. And I don't know why, but I kept getting pulled back. Another one was trust and surrender. But remember who you are. Like, remember who you are. Remember who you are. And I just felt very pulled to that. I had no idea kind of why. And here's something really interesting. When I would travel, because I liked the t-shirt. It was just like, it just fit really well. It was super comfortable and soft shirt. It was this really nice blue. Looked good on me. Like, I just really liked the t-shirt. So I wore it a lot. I still wear it a lot. Am I wearing it today? No, I'm not wearing it today. So I looked down going, did I wear it today? And I would have people stop me when I was traveling in airports all the time. Like at least once, right? And they would often ask me this. So they go, are you Mormon? And I'm like, no. Like I wasn't offended. I was just like, no, I'm not Mormon. They go, oh, well, that's kind of like a Mormon thing. Now I realize it's just, it's not just Mormonism or Christianity or Buddhism. It is this. It is about our purpose, our path, our journey on this earth is to remember who we are. It's to go back home. Yeah. It's to remember who you are. Now, can you have free will and kind of create, something different? Sure, totally. Can you let ego run the show and fear and kind of put this, have a facade of who you are and that's what you knew at the time? Totally. I've done it. Unconsciously, right? Consciously, I created a belief, which is, well, I can't, I still got to be like this tough. I got to be the all-knowing. I can still show my vulnerability, but then the shell, I'm going to open it. I'm going to crack open the shell. I'm going to take the armor off, and then I'm going to expose stuff, because I got really good at that. Like, I'm going to, like, share stuff, which was still good. Again, it was what I knew to be true at the time. It was my best. But then after I kind of show that stuff, then I'm going to put the armor back on, because I'm going to need that for later. And so it was this very kind of, I'm going to use the word like controlled vulnerability. But yet there's still this like bubbling feeling underneath me of like, you're getting warmer, but that's not quite it yet, Karen. Allowing ego to run the show. And ego, by the way, is not like, oh, that person has such a big ego. Like, that's not the way that I use the word ego. If you take a look at a lot of different spiritual texts and books and readings and teachings, is, there's ego and then there's love. And you're basically in either place. You can't be in both. And ego, by the way, is also aka fear, aka your mind, aka not real. That's ego. And then there's love. And you're in either one of those two places. That's it. You can't be in both. You can't be in fear and love at the same time. You can't be in ego and love at the same time. You're in one or the other. So, my ego, and we all come into this world with the ego, by the way, and you're still going to have it at times. The ego is that piece that wants you to play small. Ego is that scarcity piece that's still there in a lot of us. It's okay. Or maybe really there in a lot of us, and that's okay too. But it is a remembering, and I could see little glimpses of it at time, right? Of just like, oh, well, this kind of feels right, or this feels like alignment, or this feels like, and then ego often coming in to kind of like take over the whole show and just derail shit. and believing that this was a way to protect myself. Now, again, all kind of looking back in reflection, right? 95% of what goes on, our thoughts are subconscious. Are you aware of that? Like, this is newer information, by the way, too, that is blowing my mind of stuff that I'm studying and learning and then teaching and sharing with you here. Is like 95% subconscious. That means we don't even know that this shit is not true. The thoughts, the beliefs, all these patterns. So we can work on the 5-10% that's conscious and aware, right? Let me teach you some stuff about journaling. Let's talk about mindset. But it is these other pieces that are revealed with different types of work, journaling being one of them, that really helps to uncover that. Being present is also that. And so how do you get to the place of remembering who you truly are? Because everyone goes through this. It's almost like a rite of passage. Unless you grew up with these like incredibly consciously aware parents, I don't know any of them really exist because we're all doing our best, right? But unless you had that, which is really not the case for the 99.99999% of us, then how you begin to remember who you are is you need to begin to have practices where you get present. Journaling, meditation, breathing. Breathing, big one. Being present. Being present. Being open. Not being so rigid in the way that you see the world. Being open. It's just a consideration of seeing something differently, right? Understanding that this kind of like this deep work, it's not fun. It's hard. It's painful. I almost wanted to not say the word painful for a moment there, because I thought, well, if I talk about it in this way, then you're not going to want to do it. But like, that's the truth, really. It's about being really honest with yourself. And that's fucking hard. And that's the thing that a lot of us don't want to do. This is why we're going to go on Facebook and go, hey, what's the newest Netflix binge? And what do you think of this? And what do you think of that? And just distracting and noise and busyness. Momentary pieces of joy and happiness and peace and never really lasting. Kind of coming in and out of it like waves, right? Remembering who you are. Who you are, by the way, is perfect. It's the way that you're supposed to be. It is not about resisting this. It's not about creating yourself to be a certain way. It's not about thinking that you cannot quote unquote change, or this is just the way you are. No, a lot of us are walking around with just these facades, these masks, these veils, these, whatever kind of metaphor I need to use for you to understand this stuff, which is just not real. It's not us. It's not us. So our job on here on this earth, our purpose in life, is to remember who we are. So let's talk about a more tip for this. 7 days of journaling. Yeah, let's do that. Words on a piece of paper. Who am I at the top? Who am I? And just start journaling. Now, it's going to feel really uncomfortable because you won't want to go there. And for a lot of us as women, that feminine energy is very nurturing and giving and receiving and allowing, and which is why we often put ourselves on the back burner as we care and nurture for others. We leave our center and our core to go and care for others with the intention of service and love for our family and being mothers and wives and daughters and friends. But now it's time to return back home to you, sister, to remember who you are. Which, by the way, when you come from that place and when you are grounded in that, or becoming grounded or working on becoming grounded in that, that is how you best serve. Not from burning yourself into the ground. So 7 days of journaling. At the top, write, who am I? And write a page, 2 page, just decide what that is. And I'm encouraging you that journaling as a practice, needs to be also constructed as a habit. Otherwise, you won't really do it, right? So that is part of my daily routine is journaling. I journal a page or 2. I've done lots of different things with journaling, but this is yours for the next 7 days is that. All right, sister, a couple of things. Number 1, April is spring cleaning with Women Wanting More. And so there's a different thing that I am offering to you each week, an invitation, a way for you to really begin to spring clean that subconscious, right? The mindset, the 5 to 10% of it. But we're going to start doing these on more at the subconscious level. And I just mentioned journaling. So journaling is a big piece of this. So, and I just realized as I'm saying this to you right now, I'm going to mention two things, okay? Last week, which was the first week of this, was the Women Wanting More journal. I gave these out for free over the last year and a half, almost 600 of them right now. And I have around 80 left, okay? This is it, then I'm done. I love sending these to you. They're all for free. You take care of a little bit of shipping, which is just $9.95. I do all the rest, okay? And I send you some other Women Wanting More swag. Some of you have actually gotten a bonus t-shirt. I got a couple of these left, so I'm kind of like randomly putting some bonus t-shirts in there too. So to get yours then, go over to drkarenosburn.com/free journal. So drkarenosburn.com/free journal. Okay, and then I usually send those out each week, and you will get that delivered to you shortly. And the next is the More journal system, which is really like, this is to teach you, because some of you would, like, I put up the journals, you're like, this is great, but how do I journal now? Okay, so let me give you, I'm going to actually just stop swearing for a second as I go inside and get the link for that for you. Then we'll finish up, right? Be right back. All right, sister, here's the deal. The URL, as in the web address for the More journal system, is not an easy one. I'm not going to even attempt it. So here's what you need to do. Email me, drkarenosburn@gmail.com. That'll be an easy one. So drkarenosburn@gmail.com, and I will send you the link. There you go. There's going to be 23 spots. The More journal system is 3, I think it's 3 and then a bonus video. There's PDF, there's a worksheet with it as well too, and it's $27. That's it, $27, and there's going to be 23 spots. That's it for this week. So this is week 2 of Spring Cleaning with Women Wanting More. You get a copy of the More journal system, and you're going to see even some of the comments when you go to that page that I send to you of some women that did go through and got this and the results that they achieved. So I would love for you to have that, sister, so you can really start to do this deep, deep work. So email me, drkarenosburn@gmail.com, and I will send you the link. You can get one of those 23 spots. This will only be for this week, which is the week of April the 8th, 2019. So I'll talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from remembering who you are every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.